Lease, and I'm the pastor at Zion Lutheran Church in Etters.
And I'm Ben Lease. I'm the pastor of Holy Trinity Lutheran Church in York Springs.
Is the church as important as all the other stuff in my life?
That's a really hard question because there's so much going on. There's a great book out recently by Bridget Schulte called Overwhelmed, about how there's just so much going on in all of our lives. And so, yeah, what are the priorities and how do we deal with so much getting piled on to a day and to a week?
Well, and I think part of this question is there needs to be a distinction maybe between being a Christian and going to church. And so if the church is just another activity that is in your list of activities, I mean, it would be nice if it was a high priority, but I think for me, I'd rather see being a Christian all spread out over all the things I'm doing,
Sure,
as a part of all the things that I'm doing, being the overarching goal.
right. And I also think that we don't go to church. We're part of church. You know,
Ideally,
when we're going to church, we're not going to church. We're being the church with other people who show up to be the church with us. And so I think that's important too. That the to-do list of going to church isn't the same as the being the church with this group of people that we engage with.
And then how can that affect all the other things you have to do?
Right. Well, I think it's important to have a clear center in our lives, and that's part of what's the problem in our overwhelmedness is there's no center, and so we're just cast about on a sea. And if we allow ourselves to have a center, that allows the rest of our lives, the rest of our week, the rest of our days to have more meaning and to have a center around which they spin. And
can that center be being loved by God?
Yeah.
Can that center be, I'm going to be loved by God today, and that is going to be the first thing on my mind.
It's the first priority of every day.
Right.
And then I think...
And well, I was just going to say, and sometimes that might send us to church, but that doesn't always, that won't always send us to church. That won't always be the first thing.
Well, and oftentimes we only have worship one day a week. And so it isn't an everyday activity for a lot of people, but it is an activity that marks our passage through time and marks our commitment in a particular place. The book I was talking about, Overwhelmed, talks about being mindful in the moment and being mindful in time. And she talks of a lot of Buddhist and Hindu practices in the book, but it occurs to me that really our Christian practice of praying before meals, our Christian practice of being in worship on Sunday, is that same marking of time, that same establishment of a center out of which the rest of our life flows.
Good. Anything else you want to say?
I don't think so.
Right. So you can find me at www.zionetters.com.
And my website is yorkspringshltlc.com.
Thanks for watching.